So I was sitting here looking for something to delve into, something to be interested in, and while I was reading through the Halopedia, I discovered that all of the vehicles run on hydrogen fuel cells. Hydrogen fuel cells would ignite very, very similarly, if not the same way that a diesel would, through compression ignition. And with that being said, I think that's up my niche. I want to go and do all of the good Halo games and take a look at all of the Warthogs and see if we can identify what form factor these motors are and go from there. And I apologize if my voice is kind of irritating. I just literally woke up maybe an hour ago. So this, I would assume, is going to be an oil pan. I would assume that's why it has what look like, I hope those aren't rivets. Those look like bolts right there, like hexagonal bolts. I don't even know what millimeter they'd be, because again, I'm looking at this from the perspective of a Spartan, and Spartans are big as shit. It's weird though. So that's probably its intake right there. I would 100% have to, well, I don't know what else that would be, so that'd have to be its intake. And then probably filter intake. Why does it bisect right there? Does it have is this a twin cylinder? This could be a twin cylinder, two in a row, so it could have intake. Oh, it fucking respawned. You goddamn asshole. This game is ass. Okay, as I was saying, these must be intake. I don't see what else they could be. Or maybe that's the oil pan. That's exhaust. So no, this is a muffler then. So this, alright, yeah. Intake, you have your crank right here, and then that's exhaust, which, you know what, that actually makes plenty of sense, because hydrogen doesn't have any emissions, so they wouldn't, well, I mean, I guess they probably wouldn't be concerned with emissions and this far in the future, would they? Or at least, oh man, there's a lot to talk about with emissions. Either way, so that's, yeah, this is just a 4-stroke, 2-cylinder hydrogen diesel compression engine, from what I can tell. So this one is going to be hard as shit because there's no flashlight in Halo Reach, and they made the bottom of this shit pitch black. Alright, so from here we can actually look at the engine a little bit. Alright, so we've got what looks like a charge pipe there. This looks like the top of a radiator or something. So that must be, this must be our, that's hard to say. So hydrogen still is a relatively high flash point, because looking around, that's definitely not it. Not even a single clue what that could be. This could actually be like a windshield defroster or something, redirecting excess engine temperature to out of this vent right there. I have no idea how a hydrogen diesel engine would be formulated. So that is either, because of course that's the nature of a mechanical engine, is it's going to need some sort of lubricant to keep things moving because it's metal on metal contact. It's also going to need coolant, but the thing is we have such a tiny slice into the engine. I have a hard time saying what this could be, because it very well could be an oil fill cap, but at the same time there's this tube that goes over here out behind the radiator, which my big reason for saying for that not being an oil fill cap is this would just go down into the oil pan, and then the oil pan redirects oil into an oil cooler and then redistributes it to the rest of the system. I don't know why the fuck. Or what this is. I'm going to go ahead and say that that's probably a coolant fill cap. Okay, so that has to be its exhaust. So yeah, okay, so all of its exhaust, which, I mean, it makes plenty of sense why the exhaust would be up here in front of the engine. Hydrogen engines have zero emission, so that makes plenty of sense, actually. Where the hell you put fuel in it? I mean, most, like, military vehicles, they have their fuel fill cap. God, for Spartan, you jump so fucking not very high in this game. Most military vehicles have their fuel fill inside the cabin. At least I remember Humvees and some of the truck that my dad had when I was a kid had the fuel fill inside of the cabin. So we have 2 first aid kits. Makes sense. This looks like... Damn, this bitch got heated seats or something? Okay, so there's nothing on the floorboard. Yeah, I have no idea where the fuel fill would be on this. Well, there's another one there. So hold on. What if that is like fuel and that is coolant? That's, let's say... Well, no, that's... I'm not totally sure what this one could be. It's right on top of a charge pipe, though, it looks like. Or at least what appears to be a charge pipe. I have not a single clue. It looks like an oil fill cap, though. Like, just the cap itself. And then looking at the size of the rest of the vehicle, this nozzle here is fucking huge, so... Like, compared to everything else, like, this nozzle is massive, so I wonder if that is where you put your hydrogen fuel cell, and then this is where you put your oil, and then... Coolant, I have not. There is one part of the equation that's being left out here, and I wish I could tell you which one. Alright, and this one's already tipped over. Oh man, if you couldn't see anything before, you sure as shit can't see anything now. Holy shit, exhaust. So 4 exhaust means it's more than likely not a 6-cylinder. I know that it's 12 liter. Meaning, fucking, that means nothing right now. So I wonder if these were supposed to be fill caps originally for the fuel. And then later on, as technology got better, they're like, actually. But at the same time, either of these could be fill caps. Well, there was the fill cap on the Halo Reach Warthog roughly like right here. So I wonder, well, actually more than likely, this is probably supposed to be easy access for that fill cap. And because this is a different generation of Warthog, they more than likely, a newer generation at that as well, they more than likely move both of those fill caps down to right there. Or what is that? I have not a single clue what that could be. But I wonder, because once again, this is a hydrogen fuel engine, I wonder if this is supposed to be heat for the passengers. Like, that would be like a really, because I don't see any other vents anywhere else. That would be a really simple way to get heat to the passengers, especially considering it's open design, it's open cabin design. Yeah, no, I think that's pretty straightforward. Let's just say oil, coolant, or what if that is the fuel nozzle? I mean, it would make plenty of sense. Alright. So, this Warthog already has the hood blown off. So, let's see. There's our charge pipe, just like we had seen in the Halo Reach one. Fill cap, and then, but the other cap from up here is missing. Very strange indeed. Okay, so yeah, look, here's a vent more than likely right here. I assume that this is redirecting exhaust gases. This looks like a blower, and it probably takes in the exhaust from here, blows it up through here, and then uses it to defrost the windshield. And then with the windshield broken like that, get a better view of that hole. It has like a notch in it. Maybe that is where you fuel it. Yeah, you know what? That must be where you fuel it then, because you have this coming in right here. Is this engine like the fuck? Is this like indirect fuel injection or something? I'm starting to think that the 12-liter Warthog, what I assume is more than likely a V8, because that is pretty stubby. I'll be real with you. This is very, very stubby. Ooh, that's really shallow too. Is this even big enough for a 12-liter V8? Well, I mean, I guess I am a Spartan, so there is that to consider. Maybe, no, this is the fuel inlet, is what I'm going to call it. I wasn't expecting the Halo 2 Warthog to share so many commonalities with the Halo Reach one. The biggest difference here is this thing, which again, I'm like 90% certain that it just takes in hot air from here and disperses it over the windshield. Alright, well, on to Halo 3. Oh wow, I can already see a massive difference from the Halo CE and Halo 2 Warthog. We're gonna go ahead and look at one of these Scout Warthogs so that I don't have to beat the fuck out of a Marine to do so. Okay, the hubcap popped off. Can I knock off this? Yeah, there we go. Oh, cool. We actually get a look inside of it. Oh, wow. Okay, so no, this is intake. This looks like an oil cooler or something. Because look at see the fins? This looks very similar to an oil cooler in what we have in our own internal combustion engine. So I wonder if this is is this like air cooled? I have not the experience nor the numbers to gauge the efficiency of an air-slash oil-cooled hydrogen fuel cell engine. So either way, there's that thing in the upper right-hand corner where the other cap was. There's the fill cap that we have been ogling at this entire time. Which, if this does use... why the fuck wouldn't... Well, no, because if we take a look at this Warthog here, we'll pull this Warthog up next to it. That's an air filter. This is intake. Okay. So then... this must still be an oil cooler of some sort, and it must just off-gas the residual heat to use to defrost the windshield. Oh, here's the winch. That's a thick-ass cable. You could fucking pull a mountain with this thing, Jesus. Yeah, but overall, this is super interesting. Yeah, with all the black shit in it, this has to... well, I don't know what else it could be other than an oil cooler. I mean, considering it's right here on the intake. This has a lip on it, actually, so that you could open this. That's a ton of clearance between the hood and that. So you must be able to, like, reach in from right here. Or, what is that? So you've got those two. That hole lines up over this one perfectly. Over this dot. Is it supposed to be like a lip, maybe? Sort of like in a gas can? Is this where you gas it or fuel it? Or is it this one here? It's got dual exhaust this time. Fuel injection, maybe. Mates, I'm lost. Alright. It's Warthog o'clock, baby. Alright, first. Flipped over one. Oh, wait. Holy shit. There's something else to look at. So... I assume... So there's what looks to be the torque converter right there. Or at least something like a torque converter. Here's exhaust, which... it has a cat, what looks like cats and SRCs and... There's no reason to have those on a hydrogen motor. What are you gonna burn the hydrogen off gas into? Fucking hydrogen, like, oh man, silly. And then here's where the, I assume this is where the exhaust begins, which, interesting. I'm going to assume those are either sides of the bank. And then this is obviously the, where your crank and crank shaft are. And then the transmission is under a whole lot of plating. That makes a ton of sense. Let's take a look at this one. Not a lot to look at. Oh, there's a ton to look at. Oh, weird. There's only... This is a V6? What the hell? And then, like, this looks like a radiator. And then it's got 2 air boxes on either side, which, mind you, how'd the air get in there? How the fuck that air get in there? Whatever. Let's take a look at this one. Okay. So the radiator is just open to the air. Here, let's pull this Warthog over next to the other one. So the radiator is open to the air, which this is a really fucking bad idea, let me tell you, because these fins are full of coolant. And any collapsing of those fins is going to restrict the flow of coolant. Restricted flow of coolant is going to lead to overheating. Overheating can lead to a lot of really bad things. This is a terrible fucking idea. The fucking gauge cluster in this shit is massive. I can't even look at the fucking nozzle, or might be a nozzle. Well, it isn't. I don't even know what the fuck this could be. Because our intake is up there. What does this go to? Wait, we've got pipes on either side. So... is there like a tiny vent right there, and then it's blowing exhaust gas into the cabin? Maybe. I don't have a real clue, to be entirely honest. I don't know, but like why restrict that much airflow? Well, then there's these vents right here. So why didn't they just have those vents do it? What's the point of this deal? Because I mean, did they take, like, because if that's supposed to be defrosting the windshield, it's blowing all of the air through that tiny slit, mostly into whatever the hell this box is. I think that's, yeah, this is the box for the Ford sink or whatever. And all the rest of that air, it hits the gauge cluster and shit. Like, this directs most of that hot air into the dashboard. If that's even what that's supposed to be. And then with all that in mind, there's no fucking way that either of these are large enough to be a 12 liter. There's no way that these cylinders are large enough for this to be a 12 liter V6. There's no way on this fucking green earth that we live on that this is a 12 liter. I'm sorry, I just don't buy it. There's what look like hood latches on this one. Yeah, those must be hood latches, but I mean, the hood latch is blocked by this bar right here, meaning like you can like pull the latch open because there's the hinge right there, but it's gonna get blocked by this, and so you can't pull the hood up. This fucking Warthog is like, the Halo 4 Warthog is stupid as shit. Like, yeah, that little rubber guard here is gonna do a ton for our exposed fucking... Shit's so stupid, man. Anyway, subscribe if you like hot moms.
For them haters that think this shit ain't for real.